I'm not calling you guys to be like, guys, I'm so ugly. Tell me I'm hot. But if you want to do that, you can. I just want to have an honest conversation about self-esteem because this is something very close to my heart that I've been struggling with my whole life. I don't know if it's just because in gay world or the gay media that I see, every gay person has like a 20-pack and it has abs and is like hairless and all this stuff, which is weird. Where the bears at? But y'all, it's just been something that's been eating me alive for years now. For years. And it doesn't help that when I was on vacation in New Zealand, shout out to the Kiwis, I love you guys and I need to go back. Also, when I was in New Zealand, no one told me that Ethel Kane was performing like a block away from me. You guys have one job. But when I was in New Zealand, I was on Grindr. And yes, Zach, did you just get out of a relationship? Yes. But the thing is, guys, I just like to see what's going on. That being said, I did get skull fucked. Let me tell you something about Grindr in Auckland. Everyone's hot. But at the same time, everyone is DL. And in case you guys don't already know, DL people are the bane of my existence. But it's just unfortunate and stirred up old things that I've been trying to work on because they're all so sexy. So then, am I gonna put my self-esteem and my self-worth on the line? Absolutely. There's this one guy that messaged me on Grindr down there. I didn't read his response because I was busy. I was on vacation. But then he sent me his album, okay? And when I tell you every single man in New Zealand is hung like a horse, believe me. Y'all, I don't know what's going on, but I guess it's the perfect time to tell you about the sponsor of today's FaceTime, Balesa. This one goes out to the ladies. The Air Vibe by Balesa provides dual stimulation for your C-spot and your G-spot. And ladies, the Air Vibe is extremely flexible to get in all of your nooks and crannies. One size fits all. It's waterproof, extremely discreet design, and fully rechargeable because I know y'all ladies will be burning that battery to the ground. Hello! This one goes out to the fellas. We have the Blow Pro Tornado Stroker. It's the most advanced sucker simulator on the market, and trust me, if you're my best friend Connor, who I gave one of these to for Christmas, you would agree. With 5 rotating and thrusting speeds, you can fully customize this toy to fit your every need. This bad boy is easy to clean, waterproof, rechargeable, and much like me, built for pleasure. Y'all already know who it is. It's the Ultra Blow, the most advanced stroker on the market. Boys, it's time to put your hands down and put the Ultra Blow on. When I tell you, ever since I got this thing, it has not left my hand, okay? And one last thing for the girls, the Thump by Balesa, the ultimate clit vibrator with suction, vibrate, and thumping technology. It is the #1 most versatile clit vibrator ever. It's waterproof. It has an extremely discreet design. And of course, for you girls running that battery to the ground, it's extremely rechargeable. Okay. To enter the giveaway, click the link in the top of the description or in the pinned comment. Now, back to the video. So this guy sends me his album, and in it, he has face pictures. He's super handsome. And then tap, tap, tap. PETA, the horse is here. The guy says, oh yeah, I usually get people's attention that way, but usually they don't really like my face because he had like a birthmark, but he was still so handsome and like Ida Gaff type shit. And then he was like, so what do you look like? And I sent him a really cute selfie. Like I was sun-kissed from, no ozone in New Zealand, so it just burns you immediately. So I was beautifully sun-kissed. I looked cute. At least to me. This is when the diabolicality of it all really hit me hard, okay? And was I depressed after this for like 4 hours? Yes. But he just says, oh, sorry, I'm gonna have to pass. I'm not really into you. And I was like, okay, that's fine. That's happened to me a million times before where I send face pictures and, they either say like not interested or like uggo or they block me. In all honesty, I didn't really care about that. I was like, he was super respectful about it. That's totally chill. And then, a couple minutes go by. I'm still on Grindr, of course. And then I'm like, who is this that I was messaging that changed their username to be hot? So there's just something about my face that made this man go out of his way to change his username to be hot. And that's when I knew I had a lot of internal work to do. I apologize for the change in scenery. I did have to go inside and eat, okay? How do you think you can maintain a body like this? But while doing so, I found out that Charlie XCX is retiring. They hit the fucking Pentagon! That being said, I did go and watch Wuthering Heights. Now, I don't know anything about it. I didn't read the books. I didn't do any research. I don't know anything, okay? I just saw Margot Robbie, and I saw Jacob Elordi, and I said, well, yes. And I liked it. I thought it was good. I cried, even. And what also happened was when I watched Joker 2, Folie à Deux, with the same friend, I really liked it and enjoyed it. And then all of a sudden, everyone hates it. So apparently I just have the worst taste ever. And I'm ugly. In all honesty, I know I'm not completely chopped, but there's like a blurry sort of gray area, and that's exactly where I live. Because I don't want to hear what you guys have to say about this. This is just me talking, okay? No talking back. In my mind, how I see myself is, I'm not completely chopped. Oh, where's my hands, right? But I'm not completely, the boots. So I'm somewhere in the gray area. And that's really hard for me to grasp. Because some days I wake up and I'm like, I feel like the baddest alive. That does only happen like once or twice a month. But those days I cherish and I hold on to. Because for the other, 20 whatever days in the month, I feel like who done it and ran. I don't know what it is. Of course, I love gay people. Look at me. I'm one of them. One of us. One of you. But I think there's some weird competitiveness between gay people and, their outward appearance. Where's all the bears that just want a cute guy? Can you hit my line? Obviously, this isn't something that's just in gay world. I'm sure, well, I know for a fact that straight men there's also sort of an evil within them because inherently gay men are men at the end of the day, okay? Maybe, guys, this is going to sound crazy. It's just human nature that we're attracted to other people that we think are attractive. Zach discovers Darwin. Zach is Darwin. But y'all, it's just annoying because especially on Grindr is a very, if you're hot, you're going to get it. If homeboy pulls up in this, he's gonna, get it. I've yapped to you guys endlessly about how I feel about hooking up. That being said, it is the year of the horse. And I think you get the implications of that. But you know what? While I was on vacation, I was like, screw it! This guy deserves to live a little, okay? So I was like, you know what? It's not that deep. If I want to hook up with someone, so what? In my yearly calendar, there's usually 2 people a year. 2 people a year that are sacrificial lambs. That, they're like, screw it, I'll throw this old dog a bone. The thing is that in New Zealand, apparently the bones are 10 times the size they are here. So I was like, you know what? I'm on vacation, I'm going to do it. I messaged this guy. He changed his username to Be Hot. So that kind of threw me right back into... If there's one thing that I'm not, it's a quitter. That's not true. But I was on vacation. I was like, you know what? I won't let this guy get down. So after a depressive episode that lasted 4 to 6 hours, I was like, you know what? I'm not giving up. There's still baddies all around me. So I messaged this other guy. And then he messaged back. And I was like, ah! He wants to meet up. Oh, fuck. I should preface this by saying that I went to New Zealand with a really good friend of mine. One of my best friends. So he was also... staying in the Airbnbs that we had rented. Okay, let's just say that. But as I've said, I've mentioned him before. Him and I do not get freaky. Did we invite someone over from Grindr to play chess with them? Yes. But that's all we did was play chess. So I was like, you know what, my friend? You just chill. You can go play chess on your own. Okay? Because I'm trying to get checkmated. Or I'm playing... Yeah, so this lighting is doing far too much. But this guy comes over. He's 6'4". He's 6'4", okay? He's beautiful. He's beautiful. Beautiful eyes, beautiful eyelashes, beautiful lips. I'm like, oh my God. What is this man doing hanging out with an ogre such as myself? Those are thoughts that I'm trying to work on, but they are always in the back of my mind. So us three, we all chatted and yapped for I don't even know, 4 hours or something, just yapping. Because if there's one thing I'm going to do, it's talk at someone endlessly. This lighting is doing far too much. I keep looking directly into the sun. Perfect. Since it had been forever since I hooked up, I forgot the sort of whole song and dance of it all. And it was pretty open-ended because my friend was there, right? My friend was there in the room with us. Now, albeit this Airbnb had 2 bedrooms, 2 separate bedrooms, okay? So my friend goes into his bedroom, and then I say to the man, I say, all right, you come over here. Come with me. And he runs out of the apartment and leaves. I'm just joking. He came into the room and skull fucked me. Okay, I'm gonna stop playing. He came into the room. We were like making out and talking, and it was just so nice. Gonna be honest, y'all, I would rate it as probably like the best hookup of my life, just because we were having fun. Like, we were being freaky, and then he'd be like, come up here. And then we just sit and talk and make out and stuff, and it was really nice. And I was like, this is nice. This is nice. Then he leaned me over the bed and skull fucked me. I know my mother answers these calls. I know she does, because whenever I put out a call, I can hear her in the other room being like, and I can never get a real job, because now employers will pull this up and they'll be like, oh wow, Zach, so you talked about getting skull fucked in New Zealand. Interesting. But gonna be honest, having that positive experience kind of like reinvigorated me, and there's sort of a renaissance happening in my sort of sexual world. The thing is that now I am back home. Where's the trade at? Where's the trade at? So unfortunately, that whole idea of a renaissance has come to an abrupt stop, because I'm back home and there's no trade around, and I was only in New Zealand for a week. And you know, you may be saying, Zach, a week is plenty of time, especially if you're staying like in the main city of the entire country. And you're right. But I was also on vacation. I was on the beach trying to get away. We're not going to talk about Nikki. We're not going to talk about Nikki. All I'll say is I'm so disappointed in you. Gonna be honest, in a shocking turn of events, I believe that I may have overshared, because the whole reason I wanted to call you guys was to talk about self-esteem and self-worth. And then I just say like, yeah, I just went on a hookup and I just was like, screw it. But that's sort of the renaissance that I'm talking about. I just think for a while, and by a while I mean the entire time I've been getting freaky, is that I didn't want to hook up because I was like, it makes me feel bad about myself and all that. And that being said, there were times when I hooked up with people and I did feel horrible about myself. I really did. The sort of realization I'm going through, and I think it's because I'm going to be turning 25 soon. And does that mean your brain is fully developed? I don't know. I think as a man, it doesn't fully develop until you're like 72 or something. But I think there is something shifting and changing in the fact that I'm like, you know what? YOLO. If I want to do it and I have a fun time, why not? That being said, I'm sure the next one I go on will be horrible, and, you know, I'll never hook up again. No, I reject that, because even if it's a bad experience, it's still an experience, and it's okay if it's bad. It's just that if one more person changes their username to be hot, I'm gonna hit the fucking third tower. I've talked to y'all ad nauseum about how I was like a really cute baby, and then there was a sort of the dark ages, if you will. And then now I'm just here. And this is what I look like. It's probably because I'm a guy, but I didn't really become self-aware of like what I look like or anything, or who I am really as a person, until probably like 16 or 17. So I was really just going to school and, you know, camo rubber boots or water shoes even though I live somewhere where the nearest lake is an hour away. Now that I do have a sort of self-awareness, I am obviously very aware of how I look. And especially now that I call you guys, I'm like, because I don't want to call you guys when I'm chopped, but the thing is, I always think I'm chopped. And should I talk to someone about that? Yes, I absolutely should. Will I? Probably not. Actually, my Grindr therapist that I've been talking to, he really gave me some really good insight into myself. And yes, I did say Grindr therapist. You know, you can find people to play chess there. You can find people to call you ugly. You can find therapists, and you can find hookups there. Grindr is a magical place. This therapist was saying, and a lot of you guys said in the comments of the being gay sucks still, FaceTime, that it seems as though I would have a sort of avoidant sort of style of love. And that has become very aware to me, just so we're all on the same page. I've been doing a little research into this and why I am the creator of my own destruction and what caused that. What's the root of that? okay? What I've discovered is probably, like, growing up in a relatively religious household, being a gay boy, and hooking up with just basically only straight men for my entire life until, like, I was, like, 23 or something. I think that is all coalesced into me being attracted to people that don't like me back. And that's obviously a reflection of my own self-esteem. Because if I just looked in the mirror and I was like, you're a baddie and you should own it. You should own it. Yes, you may be a little weird looking, but you got a fat ass. Then maybe I'd be like, you know what? I won't settle for anything less. But at the same time, I truly gaff about what a partner for me would look like. I'm kind of down for whatever. You know, as long as you can grow facial hair and you're like the same age as me or older, and you're hygienic, I really don't care. But even that being said, like, if you're just a hardworking man that works with his hands a lot and you got a little dirt under your fingernails, like, I'm not gonna be mad. I've talked to my friends about this a bunch, but it's kind of unrelatable for them because all my friends are just baddies. All my friends are baddies. On the baddie scale, they're 11s. I had to make a whole new scale just to fit them in. So it's not super relatable. It's not relatable content to them. Obviously, even baddies struggle with self-worth and self-love and all that, but there is a sort of difference. There is a difference between baddies and chopped people. Because baddies, at the end of the day, everybody wants them. And if you're chopped, it's few and far between. And then the thing is, if you're someone like me who verges probably more in the middle, or maybe, you know, more towards chopped, it just complicates everything. Honestly, y'all, I just want this to be a free discussion. I don't want it to be like, oh, this guy who's mid is complaining about being ugly. That's not what this is about. I just want to talk at you guys about this stuff. And then I want to hear what y'all have to say. Not about me, but about, like, how you guys feel about this whole thing. Because maybe it'll help me and maybe we'll help each other. Because I'm struggling. Truly, y'all, I'm just talking out my ass. I just like to talk to you guys, and this is just what I'm feeling right now. It's how I'm feeling right now. Which is one of Charlie XCX's albums, and she's not going to make any more music. This lighting's too much right now. If you go listen to Wuthering Heights, the album that Charlie made for the movie, and you just play Wall of Sound, that's how I'm feeling right now, okay? Something inside stops me. Honestly, y'all, I just feel like I had to rant to you guys, because I went on this whole ass vacation. And yes, did I get skullfucked? Yes. Did I have a great time? Was it beautiful? Do I want to move back to New Zealand? Yes. But did I get my ass ate? No.